Hey guys! For today's video, I thought I'd show you some of my favorite hand lettering fonts and writing styles that I use very often in my bullet journal. This can be useful for people just starting out with bullet journaling, anyone who wants to doodle quotes and stuff, or anyone who's already doing things like that and just wants to add some new fonts or ideas into their repertoire. So let's get started. The first way I'm writing my chosen word, which is just Monday, because I feel like it would be helpful in the weekly spreads to see a day of the week written out. So the first one is just my handwriting in all caps. And then the next one, I'm stretching it out vertically, which is a very effortless way to make it a lot more interesting and unique. Then I'm stretching it out horizontally, which gives it a completely different look. And then the next one, I'm actually switching up the way I write the A. You might have seen this in my August plan with me. When I don't cross my A's, I think that's, again, a very easy way to make it look completely different. Then I'm just writing in all small letters in my normal handwriting. And then I'm writing in a kind of bubblier, more whimsical font. And then I'm switching up my capital letters and my lowercase letters, like between the letters of the word, to make it more interesting and unique. The next one, what I'm doing is adding little flicks to the ends of each letter. If that makes sense, you can see it better on the screen, clearly. Then I'm writing the word in cursive, in my normal cursive. And then I'm writing it stretched out more vertically. And then I'm writing it in a rushed cursive, which gives it a completely different look too. Then I'm writing it in cursive, leaving a longer space and a bigger line between each letter. Another thing I like to do with cursive is write the different letters at different heights, which again makes it more whimsical and more unique without putting too much effort in. Next up, I'm doing faux calligraphy, which is just drawing a line at where each downstroke would be. And for the first one, I'm not filling it in because that's a look that is very nice. And then for the second version, I am filling it in, which looks a lot more like real calligraphy. I use these all the time because it's a lot faster than learning how to do actual calligraphy, even though I do want to get into that. Next up, I'm writing the word in cursive again, and I'm actually thickening every line. You can also do this with a felt tip pen or a pen that's thicker to begin with, but for the sake of this video, I decided to keep it simple by using a very cheap black fine liner and occasionally a pencil, as you will see, because I want to prove that bullet journaling or art shouldn't be expensive. You don't need any Copic markers or any Tombow pens to make anything beautiful. So what I'm doing after I've shaded it in is I'm just adding a drop shadow, which is basically a line on the side of the word. Next up, I'm writing in cursive, but this time I'm making a diagonal line between each word, which makes it look more clean cut, more like a computer font, the way they're connected. And I'm just thickening them up a little to emphasize each letter. Okay, now I'm getting out my pencil, and with the pencil I'm just writing out my word Monday in cursive, kind of spaced out cursive, and then with my fine liner I'm outlining first on a bit above the pencil, and then later I'm going around to do it under the pencil, which is going to give it that like bubble letter cursive look. And everywhere where there are holes in the D, the A, the Y, and the O, I'm just putting little circles. Another way you can achieve this look is by using a pale gray marker to write in cursive and then outlining that in your fine liner. But this way, once you erase it, you can get a completely white interior, so I find this more aesthetically pleasing. The next thing I'm doing is just writing out my word Monday, and then I'm going over the word one more time with my pen, just writing it out the same way. This kind of gives it like a shadowy effect, or I'm not even sure how to explain it, and it doesn't look too good on this example paper, but I have used it before, and if you're a bit more careful and space out your letters a bit more, this can look very, very good. Next up, I'm writing each letter out in cursive separately, so not connected, and just to zhuzh it up a little, I'm adding little spirals at the edges of each one. I don't really use this font too much because it's a bit too complicated for me, but it's still an option. Then I'm back with my pencil to do some faux calligraphy again. This time I'm paying a lot of attention to the way I do my letters because I want this one to be really, really neat. Then I'm going back in with my fine liner to do all those outlines again. And once I've done that, you can leave it as is, or you can fill it in with a pattern, much like with everything else that I'm going to show you. This time I decided to do very fine horizontal lines on this because I think that gives it a very cute look. But of course, you do you. Next up, I'm just writing out each letter on its own in lowercase, and what I decided to do was add a little dot to the edge of each one and then connect it. This kind of looks like a typewriter font, but not really. And then I thicken them all to make them a bit unique. Next, I'm just writing out my word Monday the same way I did up there, but this time I'm adding little feet to the ends, which again is a very effortless way to make it look different. And then another effortless thing you can do is I just wrote out the word Monday in all caps, but between each letter I added a little dot to space it out a little more and again to make it a bit more special. And you don't necessarily have to put any like symbols between each letter. You can also do what I did under it, which is just to add a little shape before and after the word, again to make it a bit more special with minimal effort. We're all about the minimal effort on this channel. Next up, I'm just writing out the word Monday in all caps, but between two horizontal lines. And then under that, I'm doing something I really, really love to do, which is to thicken the right side of each letter. I can't really explain this, but you can see what I'm doing. It's just, it's like a cross between block letters and all caps thin letters. I don't know, I find this really cute, and again, you can color this in, you can put little patterns in it, you can do whatever you want to make this unique and cool. And then on the other page, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm showing you how you can take it one step further by adding little feet. Then I'm doing something extremely simple again, which is just writing the word in all caps, but every time, at every corner basically, I'm adding a little shaded in circle, which makes it a lot more playful and cute with, you guessed it, minimal effort. Then my camera cut out because it's a little shit, but I'm gonna show you what I did on this extra piece of paper. So for the first design that you didn't get to see, I'm just writing out my word Monday in all caps, and then I'm drawing little arrows anywhere I want, basically. This is just another very, very easy way to make something a little bit more extra. And then under that, I'm doing very, very basic block lettering in all caps. On the example paper that I'm showing you now, I did it very sloppy, but you can see that if you take a little bit more time, you can easily make this look good. Okay, continuing on, I'm doing bubble letters, and this time I'm bubble lettering the feet on the actual letters as I go. So this one speaks for itself, really. I also find that by making the letters different sizes and making them lean in different ways, you can make it a lot less formal looking and make it very playful and artsy. So that's what I did. Next up, I'm writing in small block letters, just writing out the word Monday, and I decided to add a drop shadow to this too. This time a shaded black drop shadow, and the key to drop shadows is consistency. So just choose a side that you're gonna put the shadow on. Usually it's the right side of the letters because, well, light usually hits from the left, but technically you could do the other side too. And you just have to stay consistent and always shade the right side of every letter. And it's always gonna look good. Okay, next we have, what do we have? Okay, this one is a bit trickier. This is probably the hardest font out of all of them that I'm going to show you. I'm showing you cube letters. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make the block letter in all caps. I recommend all caps because doing the small version of letters gets extremely difficult in the small m's, small n's, small a's, basically all of them. It's just a huge hassle to do this with small letters. And then what you're gonna do is, make it 3D. You can kind of see what I'm doing. This definitely takes practice. This is one that's easily messed up, but with enough practice, it's really, kind of simple. It's tedious and you have to really pay attention to what you're doing because if you make a mistake with a line, then it's pretty much ruined. Next, we have one of my favorites and one that looks a lot harder than it actually is. This time I'm coming back with the pencil and just writing out the word Monday in all caps, with the letters pretty spaced out this time. And the reason I'm doing that is because these are gonna be cloud letters, so I'm coming back with my fine liner and outlining the pencil with like little clouds, I guess. And then for the insides of the O, the D, and the A, I'm just doing reverse cloud shape. What even is this? Honestly, it seems daunting, but if you try it, this is really simple and really fun to do. Next, we have what I call the balloon letter font. So basically, I'm just doing very, very thick bubble letters and making the holes very small, and yeah, basically trying to make these look as bulky as possible. And you can stop here if you want, but I'm adding little like shine marks, I don't know what to call these, like where the light reflects off them, which makes them look kind of balloony in my opinion. None of these are official names, this is what I call this. Okay. Now I'm erasing the cloud one so you can properly see what it's supposed to look like. And then we can continue on. So now what I'm doing is I'm just writing out basic all caps letters to form my word, but I'm going over them multiple times to make them thicker. Again, you can do this with a felt tip marker, you can do this any way you want. I'm just trying to show that you can do anything with a single fine liner and maybe a pencil. And for this one, I'm doing the same line drop shadow that I did in the cursive version. I'm just showing that you can do this with, well, any style of writing. Okay, and then under that, I'm showing you a ribbon banner lettering font. Is this a font? This is more like a doodle. So basically you just draw a line and then put ribbons and then write your letters on them. And then next to that, I'm showing you something I really like to do with books read. So I do like a bookshelf full of empty books, and then on the spines I write the books that I read. And under those shelves, I often put these hanging letters because I think this looks very cute. And just as a little example, I'm showing you a different style of ribbon that you can do for the ribbon writing. I actually prefer that one. I don't know why I didn't do that one for the example, but anyway. Then we're pretty much done with fonts. I'm just showing you different patterns that you can use to fill in your block and bubble letters. The first one is a cross-hatching technique. The second one is pretty much just circles. The third one is just spirals. Honestly, all of these are so easy and self-explanatory. I just had some extra space and I thought I'd give you some ideas, get you going. The next one, you make a grid and then you can fill it in with whatever you want. So for the first half, I did shaded in black dots, and then for the second half, I did empty squares, sorry. But of course you can fill the squares in, you can leave the dots blank, you can do whatever you want. And then the next one is I'm just drawing lines in different directions. It helps if you choose 3 to 4 directions and then stick to those to make it look like a pattern. So I'm doing leaning to the right, leaning to the left, horizontal, leaning to the right, leaning to the left, horizontal, over and over until it looks like a pattern. I'm just showing you some other ideas. Honestly, the options are endless. This is a page of doodles, and then this is another drawing that I did. You can pause the video and get some inspiration from those if you want. Next up, I'm showing you this little like circle doodling technique. Basically, you draw any shape and then you try putting the biggest circle in there possible, and then you just keep repeating that, so you put as big of a circle as fits. And you can put circles within circles within circles, as you can see. Make it as small and intricate as you like. Then I'm just doing a very basic kind of sloppy zigzag. And then I'm showing you 2 variations of the bubbles. So I'm just drawing out 2 basic empty bubble patterns. You can leave them empty if you want. For the first one, I'm just coloring in every second bubble. And then for the second one, I'm putting a tiny little dot in the middle of every single bubble. But again, you can do whatever you want with this. Let your imagination go wild. And then I'm doing a spiral. That's not really a spiral. It's more of like, I don't even know what to call this shape. It's like a wonky, it's like a wonky rectangle, I guess, but it basically just spirals on itself. And those are some doodle ideas that I just thought would go well on the bottom of this page. And there was some extra space, so I decided to write a little quote, show you how you can combine different sizes, different shapes of fonts to create very nice looking pieces of artwork or decoration for your bullet journal or for anything else in life. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you got something out of it. And thank you so much for watching in general. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful or you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!